Back we come to the Flying T Studios with Frogs Today for frogstoday.com, and we're joined by our friend Colin Boddicker, the terrific basketball analyst who joins us obviously on our ESPN Plus telecast all year long. Great player here back in the day. And Colin, I just wanted to get your reaction, if I could, to what we all witnessed in San Diego. 2 games, NCAA tournament. Your take on them watching from afar.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Frogs win their first NCAA tournament game in 35 years, so everybody's really excited. And then you got a daunting, again, beating Seton Hall in the first round, but then a daunting task playing Arizona in the second round. And, quick thoughts on that game, which is one everybody's probably more concerned about than the Seton Hall game, is, the Frogs played great. They left it all out there. They played as hard as they could. Definitely had chances to win, and that's all you can really ask for. I think all of the players, as they get over the disappointment of how the game ended, will realize that they've had a terrific season, and being that team, the first team to win an NCAA tournament game in 35 years, will stick with them for the rest of their lives, and that's something they should be very proud of.
You've been a part of tough losses like that before, and everyone points to the foul at the end of regulation with Mike Miles that wasn't called. But leading up to that, there were other plays where if you really start to break down, you go, miss layup here, miss free throw here, maybe a possession didn't go exactly like you wanted here. I mean, it doesn't come down to one play, or does it?
It never comes down to one play in a game. If you look over the course of an entire 40-minute game, there will always be plays that go both ways. You like to think that over the course of a game that they usually kind of even out for the most part. Obviously, that's not always the case, but the majority of the games are going to be pretty much even when it comes to that. The other thing that people need to realize also that while unfortunate that missed call happened at the end of the game is why everybody's looking at it, right? Because it was at the end, and it was more of a function of not that the ref just swallowed his whistle or anything. I think more importantly was that the ref just got caught out of position because of the route that Mike Miles took on his dribble when he was getting trapped and then reversing out of that trap. The official got himself in a position where he got sightlined by a second Arizona player. So when Mike got bumped at the half court, I don't think he saw it at all.
Yeah.
I really just don't think he saw it. The trail official who was was supposed to watch that or make that call. And then because of that, he couldn't tell if the ball was tipped out of Mike's hands when he went to the ground. And therefore, when Mike touched it in the backcourt, which would have been a backcourt violation, he couldn't definitively call a backcourt violation either, which is what should have been called if there was no foul called. So the long story short on that is that I think the official just got out of position a little bit and wasn't able to see the play, unfortunately, for the Frogs.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I tell you what did come out of those 2 games is I think the Horned Frogs made some fans across the country. And I think there's some momentum there that will carry over to next year.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. And most of that starts with, of course, Eddie Lamkin.
Yeah.
Just the charisma and the energy that he brings and the enthusiasm that he brings. And when you see him playing, how hard he plays. And he played 34 minutes that game,
right,
which is a lot for a 265-pound 6'11" guy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of minutes, and against a top player in Coloco. So, it helps when you get a guy like that who's all fired up and bringing a lot of energy like that. People are going to fall in love, especially when the majority of the country kind of feels the same way that Frogs definitely had a chance and probably could have and should have knocked off.
Because I was going to ask you, when you look at this past season and you say, okay, what were some of the surprises? For me, Eddie Lamkin would have to be at the top of that list.
Well, we talked about it in the very first game of the year that we did. We're looking through the starting lineup, and Eddie's name's on the starting lineup. I remember looking at you and saying, wow, I'm surprised that Eddie's starting.
Right.
Not because he's not talented by any stretch, but it's just that he was still so young, and you had some more experienced guys in the post that were available to start and play a lot more. It was just a little bit of a surprise, I thought. But you saw it right from the beginning that he was going to be a difference maker as far as keeping people focused on the game. And every single play matters and how much energy he gives every single play. Sometimes I also mentioned he gets out guarding. A lot of the bigs these days are playing out beyond the arc. So he's out having to guard that far sometimes, and he would be really aggressive, guarding outside of the arc. And I was kind of thought, I was like, okay, the guy's probably not going to like cross you over and pull up and knock down a 20-footer on you.
Right.
You can take a step back. You're still 6'11". You can contest. But he was out there guarding really hard, and I think that's very infectious on a team when you see a guy like him, giving that kind of effort on every single play, even that far away from the basket.
You give me some sense now. To me, the priority in the offseason is roster management. How do you retain the ones you have, and then you add a couple of pieces to it? In your mind, where are the priorities for the offseason?
So the priority is obviously keeping everybody there. Everybody kind of sees that when they put it all together like they did, especially that Arizona team was arguably, Arizona could win the whole thing this year easily. They are definitely talented enough to do so. But everybody on that roster now sees that when they put it all together like they did, that they can compete at that level. Why mess up a good thing? When you're taking the correct steps towards getting better. That being said, also, you got a freshman coming in next year in PJ Haggerty out of Crosby, Texas, who's, 6'4" combo guard that can score, defend, score at all three levels. Very excited to see him come in and contribute right away, hopefully. And then still in the running, we'll find out next week in Duncanville. I went to Duncanville, so very excited about.
I was waiting on that.
Very excited about this. Hopefully, we'll see. Anthony Black, state champion this year.
Best player in the state.
Arguably the best player in the state. 6'7", 6'8" point guard, and who can obviously handle the ball and run, score, defend. 5-star recruit.
Yeah.
The finalists are, TCU, Gonzaga, Oklahoma State, and Arkansas.
Right.
And Arkansas has got a great class coming in already as well, which I think is part of it. And I think he's thrown the G League in there as well.
Yes, he did.
As a potential landing spot. But it certainly helps that Duncanville's coach, David Peavy, his son Micah, obviously is part of the TCU program. So he's got a lot of familiarity with Micah. Being so close and it'd be the home team destination for sure.
Got about 30 seconds. Also a priority, I think, keeping the staff together. Tony Benford, Dwayne Broussard, Jamie McNeely. I think Jamie Dixon has put together a terrific staff that really showed as this season wore down and went on, especially from a scouting perspective and how they were prepped.
Not just prep and stat, but also in recruiting, obviously, too, because when you get continuity of the staff like that, they've been together now for 3 or 4 years, all of them. On the same team. So when you get that continuity and you get the familiarity working together every single day, it only gets better, and you don't have nothing to really switch up by switching out staff. But they've done terrific, and you're seeing the results of all of those efforts.
All right, roster stays together. Horned Frogs will be predicted to be what in the Big 12?
Next year?
Yeah.
I'll give them fourth.
Fourth, okay.
Preseason fourth, because listen, we still got Kansas in there. We still got Texas is going to be good again
Iowa
next year.
State's going to be better.
Texas Tech's going to be good again next year. Yeah. Baylor's good. Big 12's just stacked.
Oh, got you.
So here we go. Iowa State could advance again.
Exactly.
They could get to the Elite Eight or Final Four. You never know.
How's Luka?
My Luka?
Yeah.
My Luka's doing great.
How old?
15 months.
Is he dunking yet?
On the little Tykes goal. It's the first thing we do every single day I get home. Luka, you want to go shoot some hoops?
It's my guy.
Jam in the little Tykes goal.
Yeah. Are you sending videos to Jamie?
Not yet, but we've got him in all the TCU gear, of course.
Okay, good.
So I'll get together the huddle and YouTube clips pretty soon, and make sure Jamie will be the front runner, TCU will be the front runner, but we'll get all the tapes going to all the colleges.
Knowing you, it'll be about the NIL deal. I know too. Yeah. He's Colin Boddicker. He's our basketball insider.